So this week we are going through our final chapter, chapter 15. And chapter 15 includes procedures, functions, and triggers. So we've got three big topics that are covered in this chapter. Make sure you read the book and then make sure you read through that lecture demo. To help you understand what procedures, functions, and triggers are, there is a textbook assignment that you need to complete. And so I've broken up procedures into multiple videos. And then the user-defined functions is in a video, and so are triggers. And there is information on these in the MTA, and so going through and doing the hands-on is really going to help you understand how these things work. Okay, because without doing the hands-on, it's kind of hard to really understand what they are. Okay, so you will go through and work through all of the exercises here. And then you do have the last final project lab assignment. So this is part of the final project. This is the last thing that you have to do. So after going through that textbook assignment, you should be familiar with how to create procedures, user-defined functions, and triggers. And now you're going to apply that knowledge to your final project. So you have to create a stored procedure that retrieves and displays data. You have to create one that takes one or more parameters. You have to create another one that has at least one input and an output parameter, and one that returns a value. Okay, and you should know how to do all of this because it was all covered in the textbook assignment. You are going to create then a function that accepts an argument, a scalar function, and a table function. And then finally, you are going to do triggers. So you're going to create a trigger that will add deleted data from one of your tables into an archive table. You'll do an insert trigger and an update trigger. And then you will submit everything. And this is very similar to what you had to do in the textbook assignment. And to help you out, I do have a little example here. Now, if you want to do any additional triggers for your final project, that is absolutely fine. Okay. I did do some additional triggers just because it made my life easier for the system to do some of my calculations for me. Okay, so that is your final exercises for that term project. And once you're done with that, you're going to do the last unit quiz. And it's just covering those last 3 chapters. And then you're going to start working on your project showcase. So this last final project lab assignment, at that point, you are done with your final project. Okay, so now you can work on the showcase. And your starting point is going to be the mini showcase that you did earlier in the semester. And what you need to add to that, okay, are a couple of your summary queries. You're going to need to do a little screenshot. And let me show you what that can look like. So this is my example from earlier this semester. And so what I did was I added on the summary query. So I have 2 of them. So that's the first one. And here's the second one. And you should have uploaded your queries to the Dropbox in the week that we covered those summary queries. So if you don't have a copy, you certainly can go into that Dropbox and download them. Okay, so that's the first thing that you're going to add. And it's just basically entering that query and running it, and then showing me the results. And you can do a screenshot. So from the view term project lab assignment, you had to create several views. I only need to see 2 of them in here. So you'll do a slide with one of your views and a second view. Then from that last final project lab assignment where you did the procedures, the functions, and the triggers, you need screenshots of those. And because these are a little more involved, you should kind of explain what they do. So you need 2 procedures, 2 functions, 2 triggers. So I have my first stored procedure, and I'm giving it the customer ID, and it's retrieving information. And then you can see my second one. And then for user-defined function, here's the first one with a little description of what it does. Here's the second one. And then for the triggers, I did do the archive table with the delete, update, and insert triggers, but I also did some triggers to make my life easier. So these were the make my life easier triggers, and it kind of explains what they do. Okay, and then I added an additional couple slides that kind of show you how they work, because basically when you're adding data for an order, you don't have to add freight or line item or the total due. Freight is automatically calculated, so it is a calculated column. Total due is also a calculated column. And the line item total is done through a trigger. Okay, and I included the trigger in a previous slide. Then in my line item order here, I've got the unit price, which is actually being retrieved from the product table using a trigger. Once I put in the item number, it's going to the product table and retrieving that price. And then line item total is a calculated column where it's taking the price and multiplying by the quantity. Okay, so the trigger on here is actually unit price, and then I also have a calculated column. And then this is just kind of showing you how it works. Now, after you include that final slide on your triggers, I want you to reflect a little bit on the project and tell me what went well. Okay, so what was easy for you? Then indicate maybe what didn't go so well, what was tricky. Okay, what did you have problems with? Then I would like to know what you learned. And then there's always something that we wanted to do, but we just didn't have time to do. So I want to know what you would add to your project in future releases. So once you have all of the slides, then what you need to do is convert this into an MP4 video. Okay. And I did include that slideshow so you can download it. I've got a PDF of it, and I also have the converted MP4 video that you can see. Okay. And what you're going to do with your video is you are going to be adding that to the discussion forum. And this is a super small class. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add mine so you can at least review mine. Mine might be the only one there for you to review. We are not a large group. So I'm going to pause this while I change over into my instructor account. All right, so now I can add this. And so I'm going to call this Sugar Bakers bakery database. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and add my video. Don't want to record it. Here it is. It's a video. And I'm going to need to update or upload this. And all my iCloud pictures. Let's see. I'm going to navigate to where I have that. Nope, nope, that's not the video. All right, here is my video. Actually, here's my video. Let me open it. I'm going to call it Sugar Bakers Database. And I'm going to upload it. And it may take a few moments because it is kind of large. You can see it's uploading. I'm going to pause this while it does that. All right, so it finally finished uploading, and I'm going to insert the media. Okay, and then I'm going to post this to the forum. So if you come in here and you don't have anybody else's to review, you certainly can review mine. Okay, and let me go back here. The other things that you need to complete this week are registering for your Certiport account. You have to have an account in order to take the exam. And so you need to do that ahead of time. If you already have a Certiport account, all you need to do is log in and take a screenshot and submit that. You are going to need to commit that final project to GitHub. Okay, and there is a video showing you how to do that. There's directions here. Okay, it's not very difficult. I don't think you'll have problems with that, but if you do need help, let me know. As far as registering, if you click, I'm basically assuming that you are familiar with Certiport. You just go to www.certiport.com. If you do not have an account, you just need to create one. Make sure that you do not purchase any vouchers because we have those. Directions for the e-portfolio. So once you have put your final project on GitHub, you're going to need to connect your e-portfolio to that project. And we do recommend using LinkedIn. You don't have to use LinkedIn, but this is a whole lot easier if you do use it. So information that you need in your LinkedIn is name, address, phone, and email, professional information, any networking that you have done. And then for this class, you're going to need to add your project. Now, what that looks like is something like this. Okay, and once you take certification exams and you get those, you're also going to want to connect those to GitHub. So there's a video showing you how to update your LinkedIn account with a project linked. And just in case you aren't sure of how to do that, I have a video showing you how to create a brand new LinkedIn profile if you do not have one. And I did include, once you are in LinkedIn, I'm going to have to show my sidebar, but I did include a link to my own profile. But you do have to sign in to LinkedIn, which means you have to have an account. So this is my own profile. Okay, you can see that I have an about section. I've got work experience, education, and then I have my own licenses and certifications in here. I listed volunteer experience, okay, all of that, honors and awards, organizations, okay, and so you're definitely going to want to continually update this. I usually update this at least once a year. You're going to want to do the same. You may want to update every semester because you are going to be achieving certifications. And you'll notice in my About section, I did kind of highlight mine. Okay, so that is pretty much what you need to do this week. That's all of the required exercises. And as far as replying or reviewing classmates' projects, we are a small group, so that's definitely not going to take you very long. Your video needs to be posted by 7:31, and then that last week of class, you just need to review the other students. And like I said, if nobody is posted, you can just review mine. Let me know if you run into problems or if you have questions.